Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. I hope you're having a great day. We're fortunate to be joined by someone I'd like to think of as an old friend. He helped me celebrate 3- and 5-year anniversaries at Honolulu Radio with lively interviews and his irrepressible charm. With a strong connection to the islands via his home and business in Maui, he's one of the internationally famous rock artists we're proud to have in our extended island ohana. We'll hear about his 2 upcoming appearances in the islands Friday, April 9th at the Castle Theater, at the Mac in Kahului on Maui, and Saturday, April 17th at Pipeline Cafe in Honolulu, and a lot more as we warmly welcome the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar. Aloha and mahalo, my brother.
Woo, man, that's Dave. That's tough to live up to, all that stuff. Are you sure all that's about me? I forgot more stuff than that.
How you been, brother? Good to talk to you again.
Intro. Yes, I am here, and I'm like so excited to finally play the islands. I haven't played the islands, I think, since Van Halen. The breakup year of all times, too, like '95 or something like that. And it's out of sight. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, let's go back in your mind, way before the airport venture, which we'll talk about, that happens over in Kahului. Take me back. How long have you had a place here in the islands?
Since '94. I came over, my wife and I, my present wife, we weren't married at the time, but Kari and we used to come since about '91 when we first met. We'd come for Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve to Maui, and we used to rent a house out in McKenna. And we did that for about 3 or 4 years, and finally we said, we got to buy a place. So this is stupid. We're staying over here 3 and 4 months. There were times when, Van Halen would be taking a longer break, and I would stay over there for 4 or 6 months, and write. I even wrote for the song, for the movie Twister. I wrote that song with Van Halen, long distance. I did it. I was in Maui, and I finished it up over there, and I had a little studio. But anyway, long story short, so we went looking. Right on the way to the airport, I ran into this realtor at a guy's house, and he goes, "Hey, I got this beautiful property. If you ever thought about buying something," I goes, "How much time you got?" Let's go. Looked at it for 20 minutes, and I said, "Here's how much I'll offer the guy." Went and jumped on a plane, went home, and ended up getting the house. And I love it. It's my sanctuary, man. I get to my house, I drop my drawers, and don't put them back on until I have to leave.
So that was 94.
I received my friend.
That was 94 that you first made the decision to just start coming out here.
Yeah, no, living there, because I had been coming there since '91.
Okay, so 91 you started coming, 94 you actually bought the place. You've been here ever since.
Yeah, and we spend as much time as possible. Everyone, always asks me, what do you like, Cabo or Maui the best? And I got to say, I love Cabo because I have a Cabo Wabo there where I can go play music when I get really bored and stuff. But I don't get bored in Maui. There's just something so spiritual and laid back about it that I could spend 2 or 3 months in Maui and never feel like, I got to go do something. I have friends over there. I have, like the biz. We have the Beach Bar and Grill at the airport, and it's, there's just so much to do. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And when you compare, it's funny you mentioned, when people ask you which do you like more, Cabo or Maui. If you were to try to compare the different islands you've been on in Hawaii, Sammy, and your own personal experience, can you just take us through a walk through the islands with you and how you see each one you visited?
Yeah, to me, just starting with Oahu, I played there in Van Halen, and I played there as Sammy Hagar years ago. I mean, that's kind of like the big city island. When you need that big city fix, like if I lived on the islands full time, I would have to take trips, weekend trips or a week trip to Oahu. I would have to, every once a year, twice a year. It's like going to New York City, You need that kind of city. I mean, Oahu is nothing like New York City. It's like New York City on tranquilizers, but it's the closest, it is a city, and so you need to fix. So that's Oahu. And then, when you go over to like Kauai, it's just got a whole different kind of old Hawaii feel about it, and Molokai and those places, really, you can get that old Hawaiian feel, and that just seems untouched for 200 years. You can get that in a 20-minute plane ride, in Hawaii. And what I love about Maui, the reason I sell, and the big island, Hawaii itself. I used to spend a lot of time on the Kona Coast over there. I used to really like that. I like those hotels over there. It's real desolate. It feels really far away, and I like that. But for me, Maui is the perfect one because Maui's got three sides to it. You got the side where it never rains, and you got the side where it rains every day, and you're like, 45 minutes from each one of them. It's amazing what all you can get from Maui. And, it's got great beaches, and it's got good restaurants if you want that. It's got a big nightlife if you want that. And it's got seclusion. So, to me, I settle on Maui because to me, it covers every base. And like saying, if I really got horny, I've never been there long enough to say, I got to go to Honolulu. I need to. I haven't been there long enough. 3 or 4 months, it hasn't hit me yet. I get it all right there on Maui.
You haven't had the Jones yet to come visit us.
No. I have I go over there for a concert, or like I went and saw the Stones over there last time they played there, of course, and I got friends over there. So, I do it for that, but not for the Jones,
When was the last time you were actually in Honolulu?
Maybe last year, I think. I went over for a couple of days with some friends, and we just, goofed off, went to some restaurants and partied down a little bit with some locals. Excuse me.
Sounds like a typical Sammy adventure. You mentioned Molokai. How many times have you been there?
Twice. I like you go over there on day trips, like I have friends that have a plane or something. They say, hey, come on, man, let's, go out and hop in. Molokai's got just that really, like I say, that old feel. You can find beaches and stuff where it's kind of like reminds me of Cabo and years ago that, you can find a beach without a footprint on it. That's a big deal to me, going as far as I can say, I don't see a footprint. But I love it, man. I love the islands. I'm like I said, there's a lot of places to live on this planet, and the fact that I chose to live on Maui long before I had a business or anything says a lot because, I've traveled all over the world, and I just love the Hawaiian Islands, man. They got a thing that no other place does, man. You go to Malta and, and the Greek islands and, Sardinia, which is a great place in off coast of Italy, but there's just nothing like the Hawaiian Islands, brother. They are the kind.
Nah, they definitely are. No, have you ever been in Lanai?
Yeah, I went once. That place got the hotel up on top, and the one down on the beach, right?
Yeah, it's got the lodge at Kohele or whatever it's called, and then the Manele Bay.
Yeah, we went and stayed there at the lodge for a couple of days with some other friends that said, "Oh, you got to check this place out," and it's cool. I haven't been back. I can get anything like that. I can get it right there on Maui. You know what?
The one thing I stayed at the lodge too. You know what I liked about it, Sammy, was all those flocks of the turkeys that are just running around everywhere.
Yeah, but it makes me want to get a gun and put one in the oven, brother. Come on. Wild turkey's one of the best things you've ever eaten in your life. If you I ain't messing around here. I've got a little Ted Nugent in me, just a little bit.
Sounds like it. Just the thought of you traipsing around the grounds at the lodge blowing away turkeys.
Okay, with a bow and arrow then or a slingshot, something,
That sounds better. When you mentioned Maui and your friends over there, who are some of the people that may show up, the Maui posse of resident rockers who could show up at your show there and jam?
Well, first of all, everyone's invited. Every single one. I know Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo live over there. I don't know if they're on tour or not, but I just got an email from their management company talking about that they support Blessings in a Backpack. They're great people, which is one of my things that I do with for this concert. I'm starting at Blessings in a Backpack in Oahu. Well, we've already done it in Oahu. I'm starting one in Maui, and that's where they feed kids on weekends that can't afford that have trouble with food.
Yeah, I was talking to your manager, actually, now that you brought it up. Why don't you explain a little bit more to people about Blessings in a Backpack, which is a unique way that you're reaching out to help the community?
There's what they call assisted food programs in schools, and for families that children can't afford to buy lunch or come to school without lunch, and so the government has assisted lunch programs. And so anyone that's on an assisted lunch program is the possibility of them going home on weekends and not having sufficient food to eat. I know it sounds crazy in the world today, but there are a lot of hungry kids in the world, and families in general. So there's an organization that's called Blessings in a Backpack, and they put, you get to school on Monday, you bring your backpack back, and on Friday they load it up with two meals for 2 days, so it's got 4 meals in it for Saturday and Sunday, and you take it home on Friday, and you bring it back on Monday, and it happens every week. And those kids, you should see the difference in their grades, their school attendance. First of all, they show up on Friday. And the other thing is the petty theft in the neighborhoods. It's in rural areas, across America. It's where we do it mainly. But the petty theft and petty crimes in the neighborhoods is stopped. They're not stealing candy bars, potato chips out of stores, because you're giving them, like some Sun Chips or some raisins and some oatmeal and some breakfast cereals and some juice bars and juice packs, all this stuff. It's a very balanced diet, and it's amazing. Their school grades are going up like crazy. It's so simple, and it really works. So, and it costs about, it doesn't cost that much. We don't need to talk money, but to support a school is not that expensive. So, anyways, that's I've been doing different things with the Beach Bar and Grill. All the money for the Beach Bar and Grill goes towards things like this, but a KK's Dream and so forth in Maui. And so now I'm reaching out to Honolulu with Blessings in a Backpack. So these concerts are just to bring a little bit of awareness to that, and I give all the money that I make from those concerts to that too. But I just want to come over and play. That's my main reason for doing this. I'm a charitable kind of guy, but I don't like to sit and talk about it and dwell on it. The people that are going to, but now that we got that out of the way, Blessings in a Backpack is a wonderful thing. But I'm getting wound up here. But I've invited, Carlos lives over there. I've invited Carlos. I'm inviting everybody. Who knows who's going to show, who's on there. But the great thing is that James Hetfield from Metallica has actually bought a house less than 2 miles, or bought a piece of property less than 2 miles from my house, and he's building a house, and he's going to be over there. So James is coming to the show. I don't know if James is going to come out and jam with me, but James is my buddy. We live about 5 miles from each other here in Marin County. So it's just the coincidence that James is going to be there when we're playing. So he's all excited. I'm all excited. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be doing some drinking and some partying backstage, and whatever happens on stage is something that's a whole different animal.
That's great you're tight with James. Man, I would love to do an interview with him if you could ever pull that one off for me, Sammy.
And the Maui show, he's not going to be in Honolulu. He's going to be in Maui. So if you're there, James is not a man. James is a man of few words. He just kind of looks at you and sneers and goes, he kind of growls. He's a rough and tough cat, man.
I know. I met him before one time at a radio station years ago.
Farm boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
that's a little rock star guys, He's big old guy, not big, but he's a good-sized dude. I wouldn't want to, if I was at a bar with him, I'd rather be on his side.
He and Zach Wilde.
Yeah, him and Zach and Nugent, big boys. Don't want to mess with them.
I think that's an interesting maneuver, though, because what you're going to have is half of Metallica then residing in the islands.
I know, it's great.
Because Kirk is here on Oahu,
Yeah, well, I didn't know Kirk was over in Oahu. I didn't know that.
Kirk lives in Kahala here on Oahu.
When we hang up, I'm calling Kirk. I'm going to invite him to the show. If he's over there, coming to the show. He'll be in Maui and there. Kirk comes to Cabo and jams with me all the time. The first time Kirk walked through the door to Cabo Wabo, I was on stage. My tour manager runs down, looks at me, and says, "Kirk Hammett's here." I'm going, "Send him out. Don't even, do not pass go." He walked door straight up to the stage, put the guitar, and we played for an hour and a half. Didn't say one word. Then afterwards, we went back, started drinking, and say, "Hey, so what are you doing in town, Kirk?" That's the kind of stuff we got going with Kirk,
Oh, that'll be hot. Well, then you should definitely see if you can't round him up as a special guest for Oahu.
I'm calling him right now.
No, I love that. What?
I gotta go call.
What's the story with the Chicken Foot Gang?
The Chicken Foot Gang is we got two things going on this year. Chad, the Chili Peppers, stole Chad back from us. We had our window. We got to tour the world. We went gold in every country. I'm so happy with this band. We're still in the top 100. We have a DVD coming out that we shot with 35 cameras. It's a phenomenal DVD that's coming out.
Get your buzz on live.
Yeah, that's it. Get your buzz on. I think it's coming out next month. You know better than me probably when it exactly. But Chickenfoot's going to do a quick 2-night show at the Cabo Wabo for the 20th anniversary of the Cabo Wabo in Mexico in April 22nd. But it's the 23rd and 24th. We're playing the Friday and Saturday. The 24th, we're doing a live internet broadcast. You'll see through Best Buy. You can see how to get online. It's free. And we're going to do a live radio broadcast. I don't know if you guys are carrying it, but you're welcome, okay? And, and we're doing, so we're playing those 2 nights. And then, but March 31st, we're going in the studio until Easter, and we're going to start recording the second record, but we're not going to get it done in that amount of time, but we're going to at least get some ideas down. We've got a lot of ideas from the tour, and we really want to keep Chad, you know. We're trying to just work around Chad's schedule with the Peppers. They're in the studio. They're about to go into the studio themselves, but then when he finishes his drum tracks, we'll have a little break, and we'll grab him again. But Joe and I have been writing, and Mikey's always on call, as you well know. Mike and I, see each other weekly, so we're still in touch, and we're still a band. It's just that we're waiting for the Chili Peppers to do their thing, find a hole in Chad's schedule. We can go out for a month or so while they're doing their production on the record. Then they'll go out with the Chili Peppers, and then when they take a break, we'll go out with the Chickenfoot. And when he's finished with that, we'll go out and do the whole world again. I want to come to Hawaii. I want to play everywhere with Chickenfoot. It's the greatest rock and roll band I've ever been in, and that's a big statement, but I'm sorry, it's true.
Oh, well, that's funny you say it that way. You said something about Michael always being on call, and you're talking about how strong your feelings are for the Chickenfoot band. Is it true that the Wabaritas are on some kind of lifetime paid salary so that when you want them to be there, they're ready?
Yeah, I mean, the Wabos have been so good with me. We've been together this is our 14th year. We have a set list of 67, 70 songs, something like that. We actually play a couple Chickenfoot songs in a set. And when the Wabos play, it's an anthology night. We go from Montrose, we go through the early Red Rocker era, through the Geffen years with I Can't Drive 55, 3-Lock Box, heavy metal era, and then we go through the Van Hagar era, and then we go through the Wabo Rita area, which is the post-Van Hagar era, with Mas Tequila and Little White Lion, those kind of songs, and then we bust out with a couple Chickenfoot songs for an encore, and brother, when the Wabos finish with you, you have been to hell and back, to heaven and back. How about that? Let me rephrase it.
You've been Waboized.
You've been Waboized, yeah. Now, I love the Wabos. We're the ultimate party band. There's something very special about Chickenfoot that's different. Chickenfoot only plays the album. We play the album, and then for the encore, we either do Bad Motor Scooter,
Highway Star, right?
Highway Star, yeah. Are you really? No, not you really. What's the other?
All Day and All Night?
No, we play My Generation, the Who song.
Okay.
And because we used to jam a Kinks tune, but we never did it live. So we got 3, and that's it. So it's a whole different kind of thing. We are, art for what we are. We're trying to. It's a lot of musical showmanship, musical acrobatics, gymnastics. It's architecture. It's all that in a musical form. To where the Wabos, it is one big party. Okay.
I like that.
Style, brother.
I like that. You've kind of divided it up.
Oh, it's totally true. You want to have a party. I say, I always get offered corporate jobs, like the other day, whatever it was, the basketball shootout, the All-Star game. They asked me to play a private party afterwards in Houston, and they asked for, which band you want. I'm going, oh, it's a party? That's the Wabos. We'll show, and we'll play the party. Chickenfoot. It's true. I'm the luckiest man in the world. I've got everything covered. So the Wabos always play Cabo Wabo. Chickenfoot's playing for the 20th anniversary because we want to do this live broadcast, and Chad has the weekend off, so we're doing it. But normally, Cabo Wabo, it's the Wabos.
And speaking of, it seems like a good place to wrap up with you. How much day-to-day operation have you retained with Cabo Wabo Tequila after selling off the majority share of it?
Nothing has changed. There's no way that you can only give 20%. That's how much I own of Cabo Wabo Tequila. It's still the greatest tequila in the world. None of that's changed. But how can you say, I only support it 20% of the time? I've got the friggin' tattoo on my arm, I ain't cutting my arm off. Cabo Wabo tequila is still in my heart and soul. I started that. I started the Cabo Wabo. I feel so good about it. And my dear friend Shep Gordon over on the islands, who really helped me get that company going. I don't know how to run a company like that, a liquor company, and make deals with distributors and all that stuff. I do now, but I didn't at the time. And we started in the islands. Cabo Wabo tequila started in the Hawaiian Islands. That was the first place Shep said, let's take it, ship it somewhere, and see how the bottles handle them, how the cases work, see if we got how much spillage, how much broken product and stuff. And sure enough, they got over there. It was pretty banged up. But we got it all fixed. We got it worked out. And the first year was, Cabo Wabo tequila was on the islands. It became the #1 premium tequila on the islands. So I'm really proud of what happened over there. And I'm trying to make Hawaiian rum. Right now, I just have to work this out with my tequila company. I probably shouldn't be talking about this. If they hear wind, they're going to go, what? So I'm trying to do with the greatest rum maker in the world lives in Maui, and he has made me the finest rum you've ever tasted in your life, and it's made from pure cane sugar from Hawaii. So, but it'll be a year or so before that'll come out if I'm able to do it with the Sky people. But I think they're going to let me do it. But yeah, it's just another little project that's going on. I'm going to employ some people on the islands over there, man. The sugarcane factories are closing down. The pineapples are closing down. I'm going to try to keep them open.
I love that, and so you really you basically, I guess you would say, in a way, you test marketed, if you will, or you initiated the marketing of Cabo right here.
Absolutely, initiated right there. Started in Maui, went over to Honolulu, and went to all the islands, the Big Island, to see how it would sell, how it tested in the bars, how people liked it, and for the first year before it ever came to America, it was there.
That is really interesting, and
come on, the master.
Yeah. And that's still the premium #1 premium tequila, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, in the islands, it can't hold a candle to Patron in the rest of the world, because Patron has been, we can't make. I mean, Cabo Wabo is still handmade, but it's #2, always in the #2, #3 in America, the biggest selling premium tequila. But when you make it by hand, we could never be #1. We couldn't make 1.7 million cases.
Yeah, I guess I meant like a #1 boutique tequila.
Absolutely.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I was leaving out that B word.
Yeah, boutique is what you want to be. I never wanted to be the biggest tequila, in the world. I wanted to make the best tequila in the world, and those two are two different things. The best tequila in the world could never be the biggest selling tequila in the world. It's impossible.
Right, quality and quantity.
We'll figure that one out for themselves. Exactly, it's quality over quantity, or quantity over quality.
Well, I'll be looking forward to the show. I hope that when you come through town, you think it'd be at all. We're doing our Hawaii Public Radio fundraiser that week, and I know from talking with Carter that you've as he so eloquently put it, you've made your last visit to a radio station. But do you think there'd be any way that you and I could talk? Maybe you'd record something for the fundraiser?
Really, you come down to the show, and backstage, man, we're partying. The Wabos, we have a special, the way the Wabos, like I say, the way we do it. We get to the venue 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, when I do a quick little sound check, with doors open. We go backstage, and we start partying. We start drinking margaritas and goofing off, and guests come in and out, and we talk with people. You bring your stuff down there. Your camera, we'll take some pictures. You bring your microphone, we'll do some liners, some interviews and stuff. That's what we do, and then we just get the party fired up, and the more the merrier, because you walk out with this special high that you've created amongst friends, and then when you step on stage, all of a sudden the whole audience just folds right in, and it just becomes this interactive thing, and it's like a bunch of friends partying together rather than us putting on a show and you sitting out there and watching it. That ain't the way I do it.
Now it transcends.
Come on, baby. I'm talking about I got to have fun. If I'm not having fun, it's like, well, what am I doing this for? Come on now. I've been doing this too long to do it for any other reason except for I want to have fun and help some kids, put some food on the table for some kids, and I'm happy. That's all I need.
We're very grateful that you're doing the Blessings in a Backpack, and just as grateful that you're going to make a voyage back to Oahu for this long-awaited show. Thank you. I hope that you've enjoyed getting to talk today, Brother Sammy.
Love it, man. I love spreading the love and the message. All right. Peace, man. Thanks so much. I'll see you on whatever is it, 19th, 18th, what is it?
The gig that you're going to be doing on Oahu is going to be on the 17th.
I'll see you on the 17th, unless you come to Maui.
I'd like to come over there. I don't know. Now that the James alert is up.
Oh, you won't get hurt in Maui? Well, you might feel bad the next day, but that's self-inflicted. All right, I'll see you later, brother.
Awesome.
All right.
Great job, Sammy. Thank you.
All right, Dave, thank you. Bye, buddy.
I'll see you.
Aloha, this is the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar, and you are tuned to the only show that matters with my good friend, Mr. Dave Lawrence, in the house! Woo! Aloha, this is the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar, and you are tuned to the only show that matters with my good friend, Mr. Dave Lawrence. Hey, Brother Dave, it's your favorite time of day. Have an informative 420, my brother.